Alright, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, if you're new to the channel, before we get going, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and hitting the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. And with that, also, by the way, before we get to that, we also have a free Discord group chat. Don't charge for anything associated with this channel. It's just a community of like-minded people that we have with over 150, like around 160 of us now. And we just throw a bunch of trading ideas off one another, and there's quite a bit of you making money in there. So it's awesome to see that community to continue to grow, and a bunch of you guys making money even in this crazy market that we are in right now. Like I said, links in the description box. It's free to join. I would suggest downloading it on either your phone or laptop or something first, and then hitting the link. It'll take you right to the chat then. Some of you were complaining, I know, in the comments about it asks for your phone number. It's not for me. Discord doesn't like spam you or anything like that. It's just their way apparently of proving you're not a robot. If you're uncomfortable with that, I guess reach out to Discord. Maybe there's another way they can do it, but it's easy to do. So with that, we'll just go ahead and hop right in. So we made a few trades today. We're up overall. We'll go to the monitor here. You can see the quote-unquote profit loss on the day is $54. I haven't actually written down how much in total profit I did cover, but however, in Discord I did keep you guys updated. Let's see, and I know of course a few of you guys were talking, so you can see I said I covered DAL for 6% profit. Let's see, covered Target for almost 8%. Just covered a few trades overall. Really not holding much at the moment. We still have our 5 shares of American Airlines. I probably should have just went ahead and just covered that. It was pretty much like break even, and it's been down big from the get-go. From a percentage standpoint, it's still down overall. Looks like about $9 to $10. We're still holding the JP Morgan. It's down a little bit as well. It was up, but obviously the entire market kind of slid to end the day. We'll talk about that in a second. Still holding Norwegian a little bit. Again, we're not holding much at all, especially in terms of size. You can see buy power effect overall. We're looking at right around $400 to $500 of total buying power within the account. Which I don't think's right. I don't think any of this is right, because I don't necessarily have margin privileges, and you can see here like the SDAO position, it's saying it's only $8.27 of buying power. That doesn't make sense at all, because it's obviously a $39 to $40, apparently now 41, so I'm up a little bit on that. Apparently just opened that position up today, but that doesn't make sense. So the buying power effect, I'm actually closer to about $600 in positions right now, and then I have about $900 to $1,000 in cash, and that puts us, I'll go ahead and take this off for a second. Yeah, like I said, right around $900 of buying power. Overall profit loss year to date now is up to $83. So we're up. I just had this account open for now. This TD Ameritrade specifically account open now for about 2 weeks, and just since we've opened that up, I think we're up around 6%. Get the calculator out here. $83 essentially divided by, we started out with 1,500 in there, so we're up a little less than I thought. I thought I was up more, but 5.5% in the last week or two, so I won't complain about that. You guys know, in the previous stream we were talking about just if you can average even just 0.5% a week, an average. Obviously you're going to have down weeks, you're going to have super big up weeks and whatnot, but if you can just average 0.5% and maybe even 1% per week, your account's going to have a mathematical explosion. Don't try to shoot for 3, 5, 10, doubling your money. I'm not going to get into that again, that tirade, but like I said, at the end of the day, if you can just manage somewhere around 0.5% to a week average over a period of a year, just watch how your account will explode mathematically from compounding interest and everything. So as you can see, I'm still holding a few of my ETFs. I did close the VXF position. That position was up somewhere around 8%, if I remember right. I called that out in the Discord as well when I covered that. Other than that, I do not think, and I did cover VBK apparently. That one, I believe, either VBK or VXF, one of them was up like 8 to 10%. The other one was up about 6 when I covered it. So I covered those two positions. Other than that, I have VNQ, VGT, and VTI. Those are the ones I plan on holding kind of longer term. You can see VGT is up a decent amount from a percentage standpoint. It's up like $6 overall. So it's up around 4%, give or take. And then, like I said, everything else is kind of red at the moment. So with that, you might be wondering, well, like, what exactly was going into my thought process? Why did I decide to go ahead and cover profits on the positions that I did? Why am I deciding to hold American Airlines? Like, why am I holding the positions I'm holding? Why did I go ahead and cover the profits that I covered? Well, to put in short, we'll go over here and take a look at the chart. And honestly, the chart should pretty much tell the story. So actually, the 1 hour chart doesn't really do justice. Let's look at the 4 hour chart. So when we look big picture here at the 4 hour chart, we kind of went from just massively oversold to not necessarily overbought. I mean, from a technical standpoint, we are overbought. That's another reason actually that I did go ahead and cover a lot of positions this morning. But when I just looked at everything overall, I was like, okay, we've made a recent new high in terms of like this bear market we're in currently. Our previous high was around 22,400, 500 range, and what a coincidence, that's right around where we are right now in terms of how much we've fallen. I don't know what happened, but my TV just turned on. Sorry about that. But so with that, I saw us coming up to a resistance. I figured 22.5 to 23,000 would probably be some sort of a resistance. I said it was going to be a key area to watch. In our Discord group chat, I called that out. It was around, Friday, I think, and then I mentioned it again yesterday, and I mentioned it on Sunday as well, that 22,500 would be an area to watch. And if we pull up the shorter term chart, just the 20-day chart, you can see we popped up over 23,000, way above what I honestly expected, and then we finally got rejected and came back down. Now we're holding pretty well around that 22,400 level. I personally believe it's probably going to break once. What I want to see is, assuming that it does break, I want to see us hold somewhere around this 21,000. I mean, let's see, let's call it, I'm just ballparking here, 21,000 to 21,500. So I mean, you're still talking about a about a 1,500 point drop at the max. I don't think necessarily that's going to happen. Like I said, I really want to see around that 21,500 level, but at the absolute lowest, 21,000, we're talking about Dow Jones, of course. I'll talk about S&P here in a second, but from a Dow Jones perspective, I want to see, assuming we continue to pull back overnight tonight into tomorrow, I would really like to see that 21,000 to 21,500 level. And you're probably thinking, dude, that's a 500 point range that I'm giving. You got to think, guys, I mean, the market has been so volatile lately. I mean, we were up over 900 points today, and then we literally gave it all up, and we ended up down around 57 points by 5 o'clock Eastern time. So I mean, you got to think, as volatile as it is, I'm not going to give an exact pinpoint, and again, I'm just ballparking, but I'm not going to give an exact pinpoint of what I want to see. I want to give it a little bit of variance, essentially. And then when we take a look at the S&P 500, obviously it's going to be fairly close in terms of the chart. So with the S&P 500, ideally what we'd want to see is some sort of a bounce around 25.90, but in all honesty, we were talking about this in Discord just about an hour or so ago. I said I would not be surprised. I think it was the daily chart we were looking at. I said what was it? I want to know now. What was our price that we were talking about just a little bit ago? 25.50. So we were talking about the 25.50 is going to kind of be an area to watch. I think the daily chart made it look a little more easier to kind of understand why we were thinking that. So when we just take a look, zoom in here a little bit more. Yeah, when we take a look here at this daily chart, you can see obviously we had the big daily candle yesterday. We have a pretty bearish candle that's formed here on the daily from a daily candle standpoint. And we're probably expecting this to fill down to at least like around that 8 to 12. I don't have the 12 EMA pulled up right now, but around the 8 to 12 EMA. As you can see, I mean, the 8 is hovering right around 25.50, so it's not unreasonable to expect it to at least pull back to that and then maybe try to bounce and then maybe retest. I believe my SMA, that's the, is that the 50, I think? I got so many studies, I forget which ones I even have pulled up. Yeah, 50. So I want to see it pull back up to the green line is the 50 SMA. Eventually, we'll probably get it filled up to there on the daily chart. But, I mean, we've gone up so far so fast. I mean, look, we went from 2174 all the way up to, at one point, over 2745. So you've had almost a 600-point rally in the S&P in a period of just a few days. I mean, you're talking roughly a week or so. So it was reasonable to expect. Again, we're not overbought by any means necessary. Obviously, I mean, it's just we've gone from super extremely oversold to, well, we're not oversold now. We have room to potentially take another leg down and retest the low, which is what a lot of people are worried about. Are we going to retest that low? Are we just going to kind of hover around in a range? A lot of people now are kind of expecting us to hover in between this range of say 2400 to 2700 on the S&P. A lot of people are thinking that's what's going to happen, but then you have people who think we're going to retest the lows and maybe even break them, and that we're just kind of creating room for another potential leg down. I'm not in that group. I'm not like super bearish. I was bearish going into this bear market. Just by the price action that we had, we were moving nowhere for weeks on weeks on weeks, so it was just looking for a reason to sell. But now, again, like I said a minute ago, we've just gone from so oversold that it was expected to see somewhat of a decent rally. Now that we've got that rally, the next kind of few trading sessions, I would honestly say over the next, I would say the entire month of April, honestly, we're probably going to have a little bit of sideways movement, but it's going to be violent. We're going to see probably 5 to 10% moves consistently for at least the next couple weeks, at least until we get some clarity on what's going to happen with coronavirus and all that good stuff, the economic impacts and whatnot, obviously. So with that pretty much wraps up, like, so to speak, like my reasoning behind covering the profits, because again, when I just took a look at everything in the short term, I was just like, dude, we have come a really long way just in the markets as a whole. And then also, again, when we were looking at the RSI, we pointed out a double top here this morning within our RSI. And not always does it indicate that you're going to have a big drop per se, but it at least usually indicates, I mean, usually when you go overbought on the 1 hour chart, you're going to get some sort of a pullback anyways. But when we have a double top within the RSI, you can usually expect a pretty decent pullback, at least a few percentage points if nothing else. You can see right here, we also had this happen, kind of a little double top in the RSI, not necessarily in the market, but on the RSI we had actually almost a triple top right there. And then what happened, we slid down from around 26.35 all the way down to 24.47, so almost a 200, actually pretty much spot on to about a 200-point drop on the S&P. Now, do I think we're gonna have a 200-point drop on the S&P right now? I don't, honestly. Could we? Sure, but I don't think we will. I think, in all honesty, we'll probably see a red day tomorrow, maybe even a reversal day, a red to green, kind of like today. But I do think overall we're at least at the minimum going to fill that gap down to 2,600. And then, like we were talking about earlier, right around that 25.50 is going to be a level to watch on the S&P if you're into trading those futures. But again, that just kind of, again, all of that just goes into why I was like, you know what? I'm up on these positions. I'm up between 5 to 10% on all these positions right now that I'm looking at potentially covering. Why would I not just go ahead and take some profit off the table, maybe hold a few positions that aren't doing so well, because I'm not going to sell them for a loss, of course. I'll hold them forever if needed. Obviously, you usually don't have to, but we go back over here to the monitor. I mean, you can see we took a lot off the table. I mean, I even sold some ETFs. I mean, we sold 2 Vanguard ETFs. We sold how many positions today? 1, 2, 3, 4. We sold 4. We completely sold out of 4 positions today. I was considering holding on to like half of my position in DAL. I'm really glad I didn't now. That position I closed for, like I mentioned, about 6% up. So just to list it off again, if you just joined recently, we covered this for 6%. We covered this for about 8%. I get these two mixed up. I don't remember. It was either 6%, 8%, or 8%, 6%. One or the other. But either way, good profits over 5%. I'm never going to hesitate, very long at least. I'm never going to hesitate when it comes to covering profits at the end of the day. I don't care if it's 0.5%, a whole percent. Like, I'm already starting to look at this SDAO position. You might be thinking, man, that's only up $3.40. Why'd you even worry about it? Again, you got to think in terms of your positioning. Think in terms of percentages. You're not paying fees and commissions on stock trades, so why worry about it at the end of the day? Profit's profit. Think in terms of percentages and just continue to roll that money into the next trade. If you can make $3 on this trade, $5 on that trade, $10 on this trade, and just keep rolling those profits, and then on top of that continue to add to your account, the profits are going to go up over time because, again, you're thinking in terms of percentages. Say that my position on Target, for example, that was an 8% return. Say, and there's only one share, keep in mind. Say that I had 100 shares, what ended up being a $9,800 position that I bought for what would have been around $9,100 because I got in right at $91, sold it just above 98. I think is $98.50 to be exact. So say I profited $7.50 per share and I bought 100 shares. So see, you got to keep everything in perspective at the end of the day. Small profits now, but if you continue, just cover those profits, cover those profits, cover those profits, and continue to add to your account over time. $100 here, $500 there, $1,000 here. Just keep on building it and staying small. I cannot stress enough, staying small in terms of your percent of your account per trade. Then over time, you'll continue to be a successful trader, investor, swing trader, no matter what type of investor at the end of the day. No matter if you're a trader or a long-term investor, you're an investor at the end of the day. As long as you continue to just set those boundaries of, hey, if I'm up and I'm kind of weary, if I'm kind of feeling bearish at the moment, let me go ahead and just take the profit off the table. There's nothing wrong with covering 2%, 5%, 10%, 0.5%. Up is up at the end of the day. I cannot stress that enough. So that's why I did what I did. And then again, I hedged my portfolio, the rest of my holdings, a little bit by taking on 2 shares of SDAO with an average trade price of around $39.70. As you guys can see, I'm up about $2 per share right now. Again, keeping it small. And besides, when it comes to bearish positions where I'm kind of shorting the market, so to speak, I like to keep those positions very small, less than 10% max usually of the account. What am I up exactly? So I'm up $3.31 on a position. Let's see, 39.70.5. That would be what, a 79.41 position. Talking about the total, what it costs to get in the trade. So I'm up over 4% already on that trade. Now I'm not gonna cover it at this moment just because it would be considered a day trade. I don't like to use day trades unless absolutely necessary, like if I need to save the trade or something like that. If just pretty much poor planning essentially when it comes to the trade. I can go ahead and show you guys proof too that like I still have my day trades available. I don't know why it's not. So see, day trades left 3. I mean, I haven't done a day trade actually since opening up this TD Ameritrade account actually. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much my thought process behind all those trades that I covered today. And we have 2 minutes now till the market opens back up. Looks like we're going to try to get a brief little push up potentially here. I have not checked the stream yet to see how we're doing. Looks like we're doing all right. We got a healthy stream. And I know a lot of you guys are still working, surprisingly. If you're like me, you're labeled essential, so you're not getting any time off, which I'm thankful for. I do not want to be laid off. So let's see, take a look at just everything. I want to take a look at oil futures because I know a lot of you guys trade like oil ETFs and all that good stuff. So oil, let's see, 24.25 had a little bit of a bounce today, but it did sell off quite a bit. Now the 1 hour chart is looking pretty oversold short term, but oil's just been so volatile lately. I mean, you gotta look kind of big picture to see kind of how overbought or oversold it is, and see it's kind of, everything's kind of could go either way right now. I would probably bet on oil selling off a little bit overnight, just because of the fact that there really hasn't been a deal between Russia and Saudi Arabia yet. It's all just talk right now. So we're opening up right now on it just a little bit, and I'm sure the markets overall are opening up a little bit as well. That wouldn't be a surprise. Technically down because it sold off into the close, but when we take a look here, we can see that first candle is pushing up. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna get a brief little push up. We'll see if it lasts overnight. I don't think it will. I think you're probably gonna see it fill somewhere around 2660. So I mean, you're talking about a 20-point pump up overall before it ultimately gets knocked back down. Like I said, I expect tomorrow to probably be red. Assuming it is, I will probably start buying some stocks again some more. And what I'm looking at right now is, I think BX is one that I'm taking a look at. Let me get it pulled up on my phone too. That way I'm not just doing this off the top of my head, because I have my, actually, let's just do this. I'm looking at Apple at the moment. I love Amazon, but it's just too expensive right now. I'm keeping an eye on Coca-Cola again. I sold that yesterday, I believe. I'm looking at TQQQ, the leveraged NASDAQ ETF. What else am I looking at? I'll be keeping my eye on Target again. I'll be keeping my eye on Delta Airlines again. I'm watching Blackstone, BX. And Dollar Tree I'm kind of looking at, but it's a little expensive right now for my liking. I mean, it has potential to go back up to around $90 to $100, but I would like to get it in the 60s preferably, so we'll see what happens there. What else am I looking at? If JP Morgan falls enough, I might buy another share. I'm actually getting a dividend payment of about $1, I think, off of my one share. I didn't realize the dividend date apparently was on the 3rd, and I've been holding this thing for a little bit, so I got dividend payment for that. Like I said, I'm in SDAO right now. We're watching that closely. And I think that's about it. CVS, another one that it's just a little bit. When is CVS's dividend payment? On 4/22. So I'll be watching that one in a couple weeks. I might try to just do a little dividend catch on that one. Maybe grab like 5 shares or something. Take like a $200 to $300 position just to catch a little bit of dividends. Plus, I mean, it's a good company. I might even hold it for a little bit and try to swing trade it. So CVS is one I'll be looking out for here in the next week. And if you guys have any stocks or ETFs or general questions, feel free to just shout it out in the chat. That's what I got it pulled up for at the end of the day. Lululemon I'm watching, but man, it just has not. I missed it. I think it came down all the way to like $144 or something like that, and I just missed it. I mean it. And that's the thing, 128 actually. So I mean, golly. I mean, this was one I was really wanting to get in, and for some reason I just didn't think of it during this entire bear market. It's one that I literally would have bought just like 1 or 2 shares of and probably held for at least 1 to 3 weeks minimum, a long-term swing trade, so to speak. And man, if I did, I mean, say I didn't even time it perfectly. Say I got in around 145, which was actually my price target to get in, and say I sold it roughly a week later, I mean, you're looking at a $50 profit, which, say you just bought 1 share, you're looking at 30% return or more pretty quickly there. So, man, missed it, but oh well, I'll keep my eye on it. If it can come back down in the 170s, I might entertain it. but we'll see. And then on the ETF side, get the ETFs pulled up. I'm keeping an eye, like I said, on TQQQ, USD, if I remember right. I think USD is the semiconductor leveraged, if I remember right. Yeah, USD is one that I'll be watching. It's a little bit overbought in my opinion. I want to get it for sure under $40. I'd like to get this thing around 35, hopefully. I believe it's leveraged too, 2 times if I remember right. And then I am also looking back at the VGT and is it VT, I think? VGT and what was the other one that I had? I'm still holding VGT, so not VGT. VBK and VTI are the ones. VTI, VXF. There's so many V's, it's hard to keep track. But VBK and VXF. So I'll pull up a chart of each one for you guys. So VXF is one that I like a lot. It's kind of, if I remember, it's like an emerging market fund, which actually somehow remained up on the day. And then what was the other one? Not VTI. I keep wanting to say VTI. VBK. And VBK, if I remember right, is a technology one. Or no, it's a small cap. The small cap one, I want to get this one, honestly, assuming that we get the pullback that we should. I would like to get this thing back around 145, honestly. If it can come down to 140 to 145 price range, I will be a buyer. And again, if it just goes up way too fast, then I will sell it again for another 5 to 10% profit and look for another entry point. But I really like the Vanguard funds. They're pretty predictable and they're not nearly as volatile, but they do offer some pretty good returns. I mean, like I said, I covered 5 to 10% profits relatively quickly. I mean, I held those for about a week, but that was it. Make sure we're still doing all right overall. Stream health is doing good. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the stream. I don't want to just keep carrying on talking about the same stuff over and over again, but just to kind of go over everything one more time in case if anybody joins or anything at the end. Like I said, we took a lot of positions off today. We sold VXF, we sold VBK, sold Target, sold Delta Airlines, held everything else. The only position we added today was SDOW because we're just assuming that the market is probably going to keep going down overnight tonight. It looks like it's already starting to pull back just a little bit. We'll pull up the Dow Jones since that's what SDOW is at the end of the day, short the Dow. So the Dow's down, Dow futures are down about 30 points at the moment. And just to recap kind of my thought process behind that, again, we saw a double top pointed out on the RSI, kind of a good little indicator that we are probably going to go down at least a solid 3% from that peak. And what I'm looking for is around 21,500 on the Dow. I hope that it holds 21,005, but if it falls down to 21,000, it's not a time to like freak out or panic or anything. Honestly, it could come clear back down to around that 20,800 level before I really started getting a little worried. So I'm here talking another 2,400 or 2,400, another roughly 1,500 points or so before I really start to get too worried at all, and really not even worried at the end of the day. But that's why I have the SDOW. It's just kind of hedging what little bit of the portfolio we're still holding. We're primarily in cash right now, looking for some deals over the next few days, and I will keep you guys updated on that. So again, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, definitely make sure to hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate that, of course. And if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you here again. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and hitting the bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. And then lastly, of course, if you're not already in our Discord group chat, we'd love to have you there. It's totally free. Link is in the description box. Like I said, I would sign up for an account and then hit the link, because then that way it'll take you right to our group. And yeah, we'd love to have you there. There's over 150 of us there now. So with that, hopefully you guys have stayed green so far this week. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there with the coronavirus and all that good stuff. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving your financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream, which, by the way, I hope to do one by the end of the week. But if I don't, then for sure for our weekly Sunday stock talk that we do every week, where I answer your questions and stocks and everything like that, and just give my overall portfolio update and kind of what I'm looking at for the market going into next week. But until then, take it easy, guys.